Disclaimer. I am a law student, and the legal information provided is not legal advice. For that, please hire an attorney. We got a bunch of hot-hitting subjects tonight. And, yeah, why don't we go ahead and get into the next one. So, God, she just keeps fucking coming back. The grift is strong with this one. Arielle Scarcella put out an interesting vote. While we're talking about elections and who's going to be supporting who and who's going to be voting for who in this upcoming election, yeah, let's take a look at this hot headline. 45% of gays are voting for Trump. Here's why. It's a strong claim there. I didn't realize that the gays were voting for Trump. It's a very, very interesting thing. But hey, we also have a guest for this. So, yeah, without further ado, I'll let him introduce himself when we join the call. But let's go ahead and bring him on in. Hey, notcorry.
Hello.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, this is very weird. I can't see the stream anymore, so I'm a little disoriented, but I'm good.
Oh, chill. Wait, can you not see it? Hold on. I'll actually be able to... What I'll do is I'll share the screen. So now you should be able to see, like, my video. Like, you should be able to see what I see if you join, like, my... Like, if you do that through Discord.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
All right, awesome. But yeah, before we get into this, could you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell the stream who you are?
Oh, hello. I am Corey. I'm not Corey online. I guess I make videos on whatever interests me, usually left-leaning stuff, I guess now. I didn't come up with an intro, so that's all you're gonna get, I guess.
Nice.
Hello.
All right, chill. 10 out of 10. Yeah, so this amazing video, yeah, I don't know. I was just a little confused. I didn't realize that the gays were voting for Trump. You know, this actually came as a surprise for me. Now, I haven't watched this video. I've got someone linked me some information after the fact that we'll probably go over. But yeah, I don't know. I just figured we could take this video one bit at a time and I don't know, see what we can make of it. Sound like a good plan?
Great. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
Chill. All right, let's see. Arielle, what you got for us?
Trump 2020. I won't unfriend you.
Fuck Trump 2020. Like I said, all right, listen, it's literally like a second into the video, but the grift is strong with this one.
For who you vote for, but if you feel like you need to unfriend me, go for it. That was on my personal Facebook, and I lost quite a few friends, and I'm not mad about it.
Not surprising.
But more importantly, there are thousands of LGBT people right now living in fear because of tweets like this. First day of this. Also, I'm sorry, every time she says something stupid, I have to comment on it. There are thousands of people who are living in fear of how they're going to be treated on Twitter. There are tens of thousands of people who are LGBT who are living in fear of what Trump will do to them remaining in the president's office. Like, holy shit, these people want to be victims so fucking bad.
But they are the victims, though, you know, because people don't agree with them, and that's not fair.
Oh, yeah, no, like, I understand that, like, you know, even though the free marketplace of ideas is the thing that they always advocate for, and they advocate that anyone should be able to express their opinion online, even if you disagree with it, but, oh, when I post something online and people say mean things about me, that's the same as taking away my civil rights. That's so true. Basically the same exact thing. Yeah, they want to be victims so fucking bad. I'm sorry, I've heard this so many times from like conservative grifters, how it's like people are constantly oppressing me by like disliking me and unfollowing me on Twitter. Like, what the fuck with these people?
Oh god, yeah.
No, it's just
So I've lost the video for the. I can't.
Wait, sorry, what?
So I'm sorry, I've lost the video. I can't see a thing.
Oh, hold on. I'll stop screaming. Let's see. We might do some short technical support. All right, try seeing it again. Are you able to see it now?
Hold on. No.
Okay, then
where am I supposed to be saying? On the Discord?
Yeah, on the Discord. You should be able to, like, I'm streaming it right now, and you should be able, like, it says live next to my name. You should be able to, like, join that stream.
Okay, hold on. Oh. I got it.
You got it?
No? I think so.
All right, chill.
Yeah, let's just go with this. It's cool. I've seen the video.
All right. Oh, okay, chill.
and Alito and Thomas call for the overturning of Obergefell, which was the same-sex marriage case in 2015.
Yeah, this is actually true. I went over what they said the other day. Interesting that Chase also tweeted that out. Chase, if people don't know, very prominent lawyer for the ACLU. So yeah, it's kind of nice knowing that like he independently confirmed what we had gone over on stream. Makes me feel pretty good.
That didn't take long. The Supreme Court's first day without RGB, and Alito and Thomas are trying to end gay marriage. 29 days. Please vote, everyone. I will say that the Republican Party not updating their website was kind of a dumbass move. And even I was a bit nervous at first.
Okay, I'm really interested in seeing the excuse for this. I'm really interested in seeing the excuse. She started out, the first thing that she said was Trump 2020. So she's brought up the Alito Thomas criticisms that we went over on stream. How's she gonna counter? I'm interested.
I mean, you see these things online and you're like, oh my god,
it's great.
Oh, I'm so ready.
I gonna lose my rights? Like, it's normal to think that way. So I reached out to my friend Brokeback Patriot David, and he sent me this post from Outspoken.
Who's Brokeback Patriot David? I'm not familiar with this. Is this someone is this like a reputable source? Is this like someone who's known for like reputable commentary?
I think this is Arielle's new friend, who is a gay man that I think is to do with the walk away movement. So incredibly unbiased source, of course.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. 20 out of 10.
Instagram page, and it says, why same-sex marriage will never be overturned. Courts give weight to precedent. This principle is called stare decisis, the landmark decision to legalize same.
Okay, so literally they're just going to go over the procedural ways that it arguably will never be overturned. Mind you, this doesn't really matter, right? Like, yeah, so basically, like, they're talking about stare decisis. They might talk about, like, the fact that that the Supreme Court can only hear cases and controversies. Basically, as soon as, like, a case goes before the Supreme Court challenging the prior ruling or, like, challenging the legality of, like, same-sex marriage, then they can overturn it if they want. And that's why it's important to know that, like, that now we have at least, at minimum, 3 justices on the court who would certainly do that.
Same-sex marriage came from
like, they act as though it's something that's impossible that can't happen at all, but it happens not regularly, but often enough.
Yeah, exactly.
At least in the past 20, 30 years.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting because I mean, like, yeah, listen, I don't know, I'm studying constitutional law right now. Let's see how well this matches up to what I've learned about. President Trump does not support the repeal of gay marriage, saying that this issue is settled, except that the Supreme Court literally has said the opposite. Yeah, which is kind of the issue.
2015, Obergefell fell.
I love that he's not against it. He says, I'm fine with it. That's he not
says,
someone who's in support.
I'm fine with it. I don't support it. I'm fine with it. Yeah. No, absolutely amazing. All right, I'm going to speed up a little bit.
Not support the repeal of gay marriage, saying the issue has been settled already. Overturning the case would create ridiculous...
Okay, let's see. Would create chaos. That doesn't really matter, right? Like, yeah, if what they cared about was whether or not it would create chaos, like, that's not necessarily, like, reminder, the people who do not support gay marriage are already not, like, operating from a logical frame of mind. Like, they are operating from the same frame of mind where it's, oh, there shouldn't be gay marriage because someone in my religious book said that it's an abomination, right? Like, that's the same kind of logic that we're appealing to here, right? These people don't really care about the kind of chaos that would be chaos, heavy quotations, that would be ensued from overturning it. I'm saying that to imply, like, I mean, like, the only kind of chaos would be that, like, it would hurt a lot of gay people, right? But, like, they don't care about, like, the chaos that would ensue. They just care about, like, adhering to some, like, personal idea of what marriage should be, based on their own preconceived worldview. Like, they don't really care about this.
Amounts of chaos. I've even said this to friends of mine who reached out to me about it.
And ultimately, it's not really the Supreme Court's job to deal with any of these issues. That's lower courts.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, like, if the Supreme Court were to overturn this ruling, I mean, it would be the same kind of thing as if they were overturning, like, Roe v. Wade, right? Which would probably have, like, a lot more, like, crazy effects, right? Even though, like, pretty everyone with half a brain can see that, like, especially with Amy Coney Barrett on the court now, that's going to be, like, for sure the things that they go after, even though that's going to affect, like, Planned Parenthood as an organization. That's going to affect, like, the lives of millions of women across the United States. That's going to affect so many people and cause way more chaos than overturning Obergefell v. Hodges. But, like, people are going to do it anyway, right? Like, they don't care. Yeah, I don't know.
Marriages would be invalidated, everyday rights of inheritance, custody, pensions, tax status, parental rights. I don't think anyone...
Also, like, the Trump administration is already literally advocating against trans people to have those same rights, so it's not as if they don't care. Like, they already don't care about giving LGBT people these rights. It's just that this would happen to, like, particularly target gay people. But, like, trans people are, like, the Trump administration is already, like, currently targeting trans people, like, in the same exact regards.
No one would want any of that chaos. Even the far right-wing conservatives. Even the 2015 argument against same-sex marriage noted how irreversible, if they decided to go through with it, which they did, of course, the decision would in fact be. Landmark cases rarely get overturned.
Rarely. Not never. Rarely. And yeah, they rarely get overturned because, mind you, it would be probably, like, a... like, at least popularity-wise, right? It would be, like, a bad move on the Supreme Court at this point to overturn Obergefell v. Hodges. But that's why literally the statements of the Supreme Court justices on the matter so much. Because, mind you, these are people who are not operating from the perspective of, oh, we should do what's most popular. They're operating from the perspective of, oh, we have to preserve the traditional institution of marriage, which is only between man and a woman. And mind you, they're not talking about trans people either, right? Like, these people don't care. Like, it's only between the man and the woman, and that's some vague fundamental value of our nation that we definitely need to uphold as a court, right? They don't really care about whether or not it would be popular or not. But they choose to, that's what's most important here, right? Again, it kind of goes back to the argument earlier. Like, these people aren't, like, thinking logically, you know? Any kind of, like, vague appeal to tradition isn't operating from logic in the same way most other people think about it.
I mean, the entire point of the Supreme Court justices serving for life is that they don't need to do what is popular. Mm-hmm. They need to do what they see as in line with the sort of legislation.
Yeah, or whatever they want to pursue personally, right? So I mean, like, no, but that's exactly right? Like, that's why they are appointed for lifetime sentences, right? So in an ideal world, right, perfectly ideal whatever world, right? The reason why Supreme Court justices have lifetime appointments is so that they are able to make more controversial decisions without worrying about, like, partisan backlash, because they're supposed to be a nonpartisan institution, right? Like, that's the reason why, is because they were originally envisioned as, like, the one nonpartisan check on all the other partisan politics balances, right? In the federal government. And so when you have, oh, hey, what's up, Surfs? How you doing? And so, like, when you have a system where that's supposed to be the case, but it's only enforced basically on, like, a honor system, it's like, all right, now executive and Senate, or we're going to give you basically carte blanche ability to appoint whoever you want for a lifetime. Just be on your best behavior and appoint who you genuinely think is most qualified, and don't make them too partisan, because that would be bad for the court, right? Just be on your best behavior. When you have basically, like, that entire system held up by an honor system, or, like, an honor code, like, yeah, of course people are going to try and abuse that at, like, at their first opportunities, right? And that's how you end up in these situations where now, like, whereas people are supposed to, where Supreme Court justices are supposed to be able to rule, even if it would be otherwise unpopular, like, according to what they genuinely believe is the correct interpretation of the law, according to precedent. You also have instances where people can make their own rulings based off of just, like, personal partisan biases, you know? Yeah. Oh, by the way, hold on. Current guest is Not Socialism Done Left. It's notcorry on YouTube. Yeah, so I don't know. It's just like this is just kind of like it doesn't really matter, you know?
Even when the losing faction becomes a majority. At least two post.
I had nothing. Sorry, go on.
Oh, yeah, you're all good.
Obergefell decisions have occurred where conservative justices have refrained from such challenges. Haven versus Smith in 2017, and the masterpiece Cake Shop versus Colorado Civil Rights Commission, which is when the cake shop didn't want to bake the gays a cake. The American public would hate the resulting chaos. I would agree with this.
The American public would hate the resulting chaos. Yeah, we already just talked about this. It's kind of related to the prior argument, which is, like, it doesn't really matter. That's not, like, they specifically have lifetime appointments, so they don't have to care about it. Who is he? Not Corey? I mean, like, we already introduced him at the beginning, but yeah, if you want to shout out your YouTube at the end, then definitely do so when the segment's over.
Percent of Americans support same-sex marriage. It is at an all-time high. It's matched the all-time high since May of 2018. And support for same-sex marriage continues to rise among the American people. President Trump himself said he would not support a same-sex marriage repeal.
This doesn't matter. Every single one of these arguments doesn't matter. And again, this is supposed to be like a source on, like, oh, why the Supreme Court would never overturn. Oh, don't worry. The house isn't on fire. This is fine. Everything is fine. None of these arguments matter. The Supreme Court can do whatever they want.
what is really interesting about this is, so they've, hold on, President Trump wouldn't support a same-sex marriage repeal. Never mind, I'm on the wrong one. But like, the thing is, again, I'm fine with that. That's not support. He's not going one way or the other, you know?
Yeah, no. I mean, he's not committing to whether or not he supports gay sex marriage. Gay is good. Yes, I would agree. That's a base take, Surfs. But yeah, he's not committing either way. I mean, it's the same kind of like general platitudes as when he talks about like white supremacy, when he's not under extreme criticism for not condoning white supremacy, right? Like, it's always this vague, oh, you know, there are fine people on both sides. Oh, you know, Proud Boys stand back and stand by. Oh, like all this and that. Like, he just never commits to the position because either A, he doesn't personally like approve of LGBT people, or he knows that his voters don't. It's either one or the other. And yeah, I don't know. Like, this doesn't really mean anything. Like, saying I'm fine with that is about as well as saying, oh yeah, no, you're trans. Oh, you can do whatever you want. You do whatever you want.
You.
Yeah, I tolerate your existence. I tolerate you but if you want to go into a woman's bathroom, or if you want any kind of civil rights or protections, now hold the phone, because you know, it's not like I actually see you as a woman or anything, or it's not like I actually see you as a man or anything. No, I'm just like vaguely tolerating you up until the point where you're starting to infringe on like what I actually believe in, which is that you aren't who you say that you are. Asexual marriages are based too. Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's keep going. I'm sorry we're pausing so much in the video, but every single thing that she says is either wrong or misleading, which is pretty much on par with our coverage of her before. But that's why I thought this was a good video to be able to respond to.
Post-election, President Trump went on 60 Minutes and mentioned the gay marriage legal cases and said, they have been settled, I'm fine with that. David also sent me this tweet of his. The Supreme Court unanimously rejected Kim Davis's appeal to deny marriage licenses to same-sex couples. Unanimously, as in 9 out of 9 judges all voted to support.
Yeah. Except what are you going to do when we're going to have a 6-3 conservative majority on the court? People can make decisions. Especially because we don't have all the details of a case. Or sorry, go on.
I have done a bit of research on this, and this unanimous rejection of Kim Davis, I think two of them, the two that are against, that are talking about maybe repealing same-sex marriage, said that they weren't really hot on it.
Really? So like even in this case,
they rejected it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they unanimously rejected it. But I've got a quote here. They came out and said that she may have been one of the first victims of this court's cavalier treatment of religion in its Obergefell decision, and warned she will not be the last. So
fuck!
They unanimously decided to go against Kim Davis, but then came out afterwards and said, "Yeah, but this is dangerous territory here."
Sort of to imply that, like, in a future case where this would come up, that they might be more keen to overturn it, right? Like, this case, because of the specific facts of this case, we're not going to do anything. But, like, once this comes up again, once gay marriage comes up again, you better be on the lookout, you gays. We coming for you.
It's a slippery slope, you know?
It's a slippery slope. Yeah, exactly. Oh, my fucking God. Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of interesting that, like, and this is the same kind of thing as, like, bringing back in the Trump example. Like, people will try to, whenever someone comes under criticism, cite every other example where they say something which, like, slightly goes counter to the example that's being discussed. The problem with that is that, like, when we're talking about this, people can either lie or be disingenuous. And when you present things like this, like, out of context to imply, like, the implication here is that, like, oh, well, they did this in this case, so they would do this in any other case, and you don't present, like, the full context, then it kind of leads the audience to conclude, like, to make a conclusion that's not actually representative of what happened, you know? Almost as if she's lying. I don't know.
For the courts for Arielle.
Yeah, I know, right? I know. Just kind of a weird observation. I don't know. Just maybe it's a hot take. I don't know.
Gay marriage, and this is on a number of websites as well. So why the constant fear mongering, like about our rights being somehow thrown away all of a sudden?
I don't have federal health care anymore. This isn't like some hypothetical. This has already happened. It's happened. I could go to a hospital and they could be like, "Oh, you're trans." Oh, well, fucking die then, rip. And I would not have any recourse under federal law, because, and that's like a thing that exists right now, like this moment. Like, it's not like an irrational fear, like it's a fear, like it's as if like Like a hypothetical would be if like Trump came up to me on the street and punched me square in the gut, and I was like, fuck, he just punched me square in the gut. And then Arielle would be like, why are you complaining so much? It's not like he really punched you in the gut. It's not like he really did this. Why are you fucking crying so much? Fucking lib. Why are you fucking crying so much? And I'm just lying on the ground actually dying from being punched in the gut. Or I don't know. I don't know how hard Trump punches. I don't know. Maybe it's actually not all that hard. But yeah, like
he's a 70-year-old man. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like you could take him.
Yeah, I don't know. Interesting hypotheticals to ponder on my own time. But yeah, like this isn't like some vague fear mongering. Like this is a very real consequence.
Where is this coming from? So let's debunk some of them now, shall we?
Hey, my name is David, also known as Brokeback Patriot on the internet, and here are 5 myths.
Oh shit. Yeah, it's the Brokeback Okay, so this is probably like a conservative gay man. So it's another token minority for the conservative movement. Amazing. 10 out of 10.
About Donald Trump's record with the LGBT community that have already been debunked. The first one is that he supports workplace discrimination against LGBT people. The truth is, Donald Trump's Supreme Court appointee, Neil Gorsuch, was the one who ruled the majority opinion to...
Wait, are they actually talking about the fact that Neil Gorsuch, the conservative Supreme Court appointee, who, mind you, literally went against every single prediction in this case, ended up happening to rule in favor of, in favor of Obergefell v. Hodges. They're citing that as like an example that Trump is apparently not against LGBT people in the workplace. Holy shit. Like, mind you, every single... Trump chose him. Yeah, Trump chose him. So that must mean that he has the exact same views and the exact same interpretations of the law as Gorsuch does, right? Like, let's be clear. Like, this was something which shocked like everyone on the conservative movement. Like, Trump probably appointed Gorsuch with the expectation that he would overturn something like LGBT people in the workplace or LGBT discrimination in the workplace, but he just happened to pick the wrong person. Rip. That doesn't mean that Trump and him share the exact same views. That just means that Trump actually, I don't know, maybe actually appointed someone who knows how to do his job and isn't just going to like overturn overturn protections against workplace discrimination. You know, because it's it's your own personal partisan view. I don't know. Maybe it's a hot take. Yeah, this means absolutely fucking nothing. I cannot believe that every single argument that they throw just is either irrelevant or just factually incorrect.
Pass non-discrimination for LGBT people in the workplace. The next myth that has already been debunked is the transgender ban.
Ban transgender service from the military. The facts: Trump's executive order does not ban. What? Are you goddamn serious? This is just a lie. It's just a lie. The order pertains to anyone currently undergoing prolonged medical... Oh, so what... Wait, hold on. I really do want to hear the argument.
Donald Trump banned people from serving in the military who have pre-existing conditions. Gender dysphoria is included as part of that list. But there's also a lot of other reasons why people can't serve in the military.
Hey, trans people, get this, usually, by and large, have gender dysphoria. Amazing. Like, this is like such a non sequitur. This is such a non-argument. It's like, oh, I didn't ban trans people. I just banned every single person who has this quality that trans people happen to also have. What a fucking Weasley little liar, dude. Holy shit. The facts: Trump's executive order does not ban transgender American. It would be like saying, oh, let's make an analogy real quick, all right? It's as if saying, okay, we're not going to ban every single... Like, let's say that Trump had an executive order that banned black people from the military, and someone made the argument that's like, oh, the executive order doesn't actually ban black people from the military. It just happens to ban everyone with, like, a certain type of skin tone from the military. Like, it's like, yeah, he may have technically not said the word black people in the executive order, but when you are banning an entire group of people based on a quality that is shared by that group, even though you don't name the group explicitly, you're still banning that group from being able to participate in there. Like, this is such a fucking non-argument. Like, yeah, practically speaking, no trans person can serve in the military. And guess what? Trans people were able to serve in the military before this and do just fine. There were hearings in front of Congress from multiple people who had served in the military who did just fine. Because, as it turns out, it's not really an issue at all. After consulting with my generals and military experts, please be advised the United States government will not accept or allow transgender individuals to serve in any capacity in the U.S. military. Interesting. So also, he just kind of said it explicitly. He tweeted that his consultation... Oh, yeah, he also just said it explicitly.
Absolutely perfect.
Yeah, he also just he also just specifically said transgender people. He also just explicitly said it.
I can imagine his team writing a very sneaky, very like perfectly worded executive order to ban trans people, you know, without actually having to say it, and then Trump himself just coming out and saying it and ruining.
Just literally going out and being like, oh yeah, that we're totally making it just about trans people in particular. They're just lying.
Oh my God.
That's all these people can do. They can just all they can do is lie. Oh my God. All right, let's keep going.
Specifically against transgender people, it's to enable our military to be the strongest and best possible. The third myth.
And trans people can be a part of that military. There's no reason that they can't. Like, there's no demonstrable reason why. All right, third, allowed foster care programs to discriminate. The facts: Trump administration has never opposed adoptions by same-sex couples. Allowing a small number of religious organizations to run agencies according to their faith does not impede LGBT Americans from adopting. What? Are you kidding me? Are you goddamn kidding me? Holy shit. So the argument is that, oh, even though we're allowing, because, like, mind you, the argument, because, like, Trump has tried to allow adoption agencies to be able to discriminate against who they allow adoption to be handled by on the basis of their religious values, meaning that they would be able to discriminate against LGBT people because a lot of people who are Christian have views antithetical to allowing LGBT people to be able to adopt, right? That's the argument. And this makes no goddamn sense because, like, if practically speaking, you allow these kinds of organizations to be able to discriminate against people, that means that they're going to turn away some people who otherwise would have adopted children, as if you're going to have a lesser number than people if you were going to allow those people to adopt. This is just a fucking lie.
It really feels like what they're going for here is the idea that discrimination is only discrimination when it applies to literally everyone explicitly.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have any sneaky discrimination. It's got to be upfront in your face against everyone.
Oh yeah. No, I mean that's basically where the line is, right? Like I've seen a lot of similar things among like transphobic people where like people who are more conservative who are trans will usually define transphobia as like literally when someone goes up and like punches a trans person for being trans, right? Like unless like the bar that they set is so unreasonably high that basically nothing can be defined as transphobia because like their bar is literally physical harm. When like we've had this isn't like a controversial issue. Even in the law, we talk about things like disparate impact, where you have laws which may discriminate against people even if they don't say it explicitly, but the effect of those laws is practically speaking that they end up harming a particular group or groups of people. Pentagon caught flat-footed by Trump's tweets on transgender bans. Amazing. Yeah, exactly. Mars. Oh yeah, no, that's the Mars views, right? And so like, yeah, this isn't like a controversial issue. The idea that like people can discriminate without actually saying it, because guess what? This might shock people. This might like come as a massive shock to people. People can lie. Amazing, right? Amazing, right? And so that's why we always want to make sure we are looking at objective analysis. What are people doing, regardless of what they're saying, and what effects do those actions have on the people that are being targeted? And here, the practical effect of like implementing laws which allow like more religious liberty and being able to choose who to literally discriminate against when they allow people to be able to adopt, especially when the consequence is practically speaking that those laws will mean that those organizations are preventing adoption by LGBT people. Yeah, like it's pretty overt discrimination. People lie. Yeah, I know, right? It's crazy. It's crazy to think that people can lie. It's a crazy out there. It's a crazy out there thought. I'm sorry. I'm also sorry that we're stopping and talking so much. It's just that they're throwing like every conceivable bad argument. And I feel like we have to do the work of debunking them, or else like someone watching this later will be like, they didn't adequately debunk this argument, so I must be right on that, and maybe everything else too. Like wink, wink, nudge, nudge, all that.
This is the time.
Oh, sorry, you're cutting out?
Am I cutting out?
Oh, you're good now.
Am I good?
Yep.
Yeah, this is the tactic I've seen from Arielle's other videos, though, where she just throws out lie after lie after lie after lie, to the point where you can't keep track. That's all.
Oh yeah.
So you've really got to stop every couple seconds, because it's just one after the other.
Yep. Yeah. But hey, you know, we're getting through it. We are halfway through this video. That's Oh my god, it's only 7 minutes and 23 seconds. Holy shit. Hey, we're getting through it, all right? We're getting through. We're gonna make it, fam. I believe in us.
Is that Donald Trump does not support same-sex adoption. That is not true. It couldn't be further from the truth. Donald Trump supports religious
Literally lying.
liberty and religious freedom, which is not the same thing as being anti-gay. The fourth myth is that Donald Trump banned embassies for flying pride flags. That's not true at all.
I don't have as much information on this. Did Trump ban embassies for flying pride flags? I know that there was like controversy about this, but I can't remember the specifics of it.
I mean, I don't know anything about this specifically, but ultimately, this is a small fish.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, like this is a very small fit. Like I don't really care. But also like I'm trying to fly the flag anywhere. I remember that this was happening like when there was a lot of Trump admin tells U.S. embassies no rainbow flags on flagpoles. Oh, you don't say.
Oh,
amazing. The administration is rejecting requests by U.S. embassies to fly the rainbow flag on flagpoles during June. LGBTQ Pride Month, says 3 U.S. diplomats. Oh, amazing. So it's actually
great.
Right. So actually, even just reading this here, it's not that he didn't prohibit them from being able to fly the pride flags. It's just that apparently the reason that they're giving is that the flagpoles that they happen to fly them on were only reserved for the American flag. But like, let's be clear, he did prohibit them. It was just that they gave a pretty shitty reason for it. And that's not the same thing as saying that the media was false in saying that he couldn't, or saying that he was prohibiting U.S. embassies from flying pride flags during Pride Month, which, reminder, he was. Every fucking one of these arguments is terrible. I swear, these people make me want to like put my head through a wall.
Oh, he actually said they could fly pride flags, just not on the same pole as the American flag, because no other flag flies on the pole as the American flag. They fly the pride flag on the pole next to the American flag, because it's America first, especially at our embassies. It's more
because it's America first, baby. All these people are so like are so caught up in like American exceptionalism. I feel like that's the reason why Trump does so well with these people, is that ultimately like they aren't logically thinking. They're just people who want to like believe in the narrative of like, oh, America first, baby, America number one, baby, and just overwhelmingly ignore all of the flaws of the country, right? Because mind you, like I do care about our country, but I actually want to be able to like be honest about like the problems that our country faces and adequately resolve them. Whereas these people, it has to be like a 24/7 like pride rally about America, because otherwise they can't take any criticism.
As someone that's not from there, it's mad. Absolutely, I cannot understand it.
Yeah, I will apologize on behalf of Americans. It is pretty cringe.
I'm not prejudiced. I live with an American. I know one, so no one try and say that. But honestly, this sort of American idea of America, it's just I can't understand it.
Oh yeah, no, it's entirely cringe, right? And it's really frustrating because it means that you can't actually levy any criticisms against the country, even if it's like criticisms for the purpose of being able to address those criticisms, because like they come off as a personal attack to people. Yeah, I don't know.
You can't say America bad unless you're making it great again.
Exactly.
Than ever. The last myth is that Donald Trump refused visas for same-sex partners of diplomats. That's simply not true. If you're married to your partner, you can get a visa. If you're not, you can't.
Again, this is something small and I don't know as much about it. And I don't really care as much about it. Also, I feel like we've, like, every single thing that he said, like, he's lied literally every single time up until now. So I feel like, I don't know, like, for me, his credibility is pretty adequately, like, what we would call in the law impeached, right? Like, I don't know. I don't think that there's any reason to trust anything that this guy says at this point.
Well, I mean, it's not really, this is the thing. You don't need to trust what this guy says. It doesn't really matter too much because all of this is coming from Outspoken. Who you definitely should not trust. If you go to the getoutspoken.com, you will see so many lies. There's so many right-leaning just lies being peddled. All these missing from.
I'm actually really interested. Getoutspoken.com. Brooklyn Patriot asks New Orleans, is Trump pro-gay? Oh, it's literally, okay, so literally it's just a site dedicated to trying to say that Republicans actually aren't like anti-LGBT. All right, yeah, wonderful. 10 out of 10. It's just a lie factory, but for gay people. Cool.
There's some really good ones on there as well. I had a look. Honestly, mwah, perfect.
Amazing. All right. I feel pretty good.
Can't. It's very simple. The rules are the same for straight people, for gay people, for all people. Donald Trump doesn't discriminate against LGBT people. He's for equality for all. We don't want special treatment anyway. We want equality for all. Isn't that the whole point? So next time somebody says that Donald Trump is anti-gay and they bring up any of these myths, give them the facts.
Any of these myths. Actually, I'm sorry, that's a really weird way of saying straight facts. Like, holy shit.
Go to getoutspoken.com. These myths have already been debunked, so it's not even a talking point anymore.
Debunked, heavy quotations.
Regardless of what a very loud minority of the LGBT community is feeling at the moment, we don't think that a vote for Trump is violence against the LGBT community.
I really want to know who she's referencing here. I think we're about to get into it, because she has some studies that are actually really bad, but we'll talk about it in a moment.
Believe it or not, plenty of other gays are waking up to the nonsense of these claims as well. The gay dating app Hornet recently put out a poll to their users, and this is very shocking to me too, but...
Okay, oh, I didn't even realize this. Okay, let's have a hot chat about this, because, yeah, so what she did was, and I think she actually tweeted about this. Arielle tweeted out, or like, and put in her video about how new poll shows 45% of LGBTs. Interesting way of saying LGBTs. 45% of the gays are backing Trump. A poll by dating app Hornet showed a swell of support for President Trump in 2020. Also, hey, are people familiar with Hornet, the dating app? Just in case people aren't aware, hold on. Let's pull up. So a couple things to say first, because like this is like a pretty bad poll for a number of reasons, right? Let's see. Yeah, but like, let's be clear. This is a dating app for primarily gay men, not lesbians, not anyone who's trans or otherwise LGBT except for the G. It's just gay men. Explore the guys in your neighborhood or anywhere around the globe. Hashtags allow you to discover other guys who share the same interests and make the connection. Yeah, so let's be clear. This was a poll targeted just at gay men on one dating app. Yeah.
It's G and potentially a little, maybe a little T.
Just maybe just like a little bit, right? But yeah, so like other organizations have gone on to like completely debunk this, right? Post on the Washington Blade, survey finding 45% of gay men backing Trump is clickbaity, sloppy journalism. A survey finding that 45% of gay-identified men are planning to vote for President Trump in the 2020 election, published this week by the gay dating app Hornet, sparked interest in social media and Tucker Carlson's show on Fox News, but falls short on providing an accurate picture of the LGBT electorate, experts in online polling told the Washington Blade. Jason Turcotte, an associate professor of communication at Cal Poly Pomona, said via email, the survey produced an interesting finding, but at the same time is unlikely to be representative of the broader LGBT community. To hold up this poll as evidence that the LGBT community is somewhat split on its support for the presidential candidates is like someone saying that the users of Farmers Only represent the ideological spectrum of all farmers, or that Christian Mingle users represent the ideological spectrum of all Christians. To tout the Hornet poll as evidence of LGBTQ support is clickbaity, sloppy journalism. Yeah, so I'm sorry to say, but like, Arielle, if this is your smoking gun, experts have literally come out and like have talked about how this is like the worst kind of evidence that you could use to support your claim. And also like 45% of LGBTs, it's just the G's. It's not even like lesbians. It's just gay men. That's it. That's the only people who are on it. And yeah, it makes, and I don't know if we want to like speculate a little bit about why that is. I don't know. I mean, like, I feel like it's pretty easy to say that like when we're talking about like broadly speaking how people feel ideologically within the LGBT community, I think it's a lot easier to see why people who are like cis gay men might be more conservative when for the past, especially like the past recent years, a lot of the controversy hasn't centered so much on gay and lesbian people, although there has been, right? Like we talked about some of it earlier today as it related to adoption, right? But like even nowadays, a lot of overwhelming support in the US is shifting towards approving of like same-sex marriage, right? It's a more moot point. And so because there's not as much of a spotlight on gay men in particular now, it can make sense for them to get more conservative because they don't have to worry about a country which has like which broadly speaking, the conservative movement isn't criticizing or I mean, just outright attacking as much anymore, right? And even they aren't on and even they don't have a consensus, right? Even they aren't 100% supporting Trump either. But I mean, like, if we're just like speculating about like why the data is what it is, that would be my first guess, right? Especially because like gay men, the same kind of men who say that trans women, like these might be the same kind of gay men who say that like trans women are actually like lost femmes that should be reclaimed by the gay community, or say that like like trans men are just like lost lesbians who are trying, or like lost straight women who are trying to like turn gay people or turn gay men. I mean, these are like, you hear all sorts of like transphobic arguments coming from them, and with the amount that like the Republican Party is attacking trans people, this doesn't really seem to be all of that like unreasonable to me. I don't know, does that make some sense?
I think it's yeah, definitely. I think it's a note as well that in all likelihood this is majority white cis gay men as well.
Yeah.
It's you know, obviously it's in their interest to back Trump if they lean conservative. It's exactly what Arielle is doing.
Oh yeah, no, that's literally exactly what she's doing. Yeah, so I don't know. It's just kind of laughable that she would use this as like her smoking gun evidence.
People are waking up. 45% of gay men.
The interesting thing here is as well that they gave those sort of 5 myths that they busted or whatever, but you could go to the GLAAD website and find a full comprehensive list of every sort of anti-LGBT thing that Donald Trump has done for the entirety of his time as president.
Oh yeah, totally. Also,
I'm scrolling through now, there's a number of pages.
Yeah, and also according to GLAAD recently, October 1st, 2020, a recent GLAAD poll held that LGBT voters backed Biden over Trump by like 76% to 17%. Like, yeah, overwhelmingly, the actual credible evidence on the matter has that LGBT people overwhelmingly support Biden over Trump. So yeah, I don't know. This is just like laughably wrong. This is either lying or like blatantly peddling misinformation, right? It's one of those two. But one thing that's for sure, it's just blatantly wrong.
Now backing Trump based on that poll. Fact check. 20 years ago, LGBT media swooned over Donald Trump's support for gay rights. Why does everybody think he's a homophobe all of a sudden?
I'm Rob.
Why does everyone think that he's a homophobe all of a sudden? I don't know. Maybe it's because he's been attacking the LGBT community. And also, you haven't talked at all about how he's affected trans people, which has been like some of his strongest attacks recently. Really weird how you just don't include that. I don't know. I don't know.
And these are the top 5 ways.
I feel like LGB just doesn't quite as good in a title, you know? Might be some bad. It might be a bad look there.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. By the way, also, can I just comment how she's bringing in another token minority to be able to make her claim? Because right now it seems like the claim, like now she's shifted to another person, who I'm guessing, I'm going to take a wild guess and say that it's a black gay man. It seems like she's literally just like engaging in the id poll of, oh, I'm going to bring in like every single like token minority to be able to explain my case so that I seem like the more reasonable #inclusive person, even though I'm literally supporting Donald Trump of all people.
It's the idea, sorry, but not all gay people think alike. Not all
black
people think alike.
Yeah,
There
not
are
all gay
different
people.
views.
Yeah, there are different views. Some of us, you know, just don't believe that like racism exists. Some of us don't believe that these people are transphobic or homophobic or lesbophobic or, you know, insert whatever kind of phobia here. Because, you know, hey, listen, I'm a good one of the group. You know, pick me. I'm the good trans. I'm the good gay. I'm the good lesbian. I'm the good black. Pick me. Yeah, they're all just fucking pick me's. But yeah, also, hold on, what was just posted here? Hornet, which has that more than 25 users online, cautioned that the survey was voluntarily opt-in exercise and not a representative survey that could predict voter turnout for the 2020 election. Amazing! Even Hornet said that theirs couldn't be an accurate survey or an accurate predictor. Holy shit! Even the people who put out the survey said that it shouldn't be used like that. Holy shit! Also, thank you, Salian. I really appreciate it. You are consistently coming in clutch. Yeah, like it's literally everything in this video is just a lie. All right, so let's see. We got just one more person left. I have an interview in a little bit, so let's rapid fire. Let's take these on.
Protected LGBT people. Number 1, candidate Trump supported LGBT rights from the get-go. During his
in 2016 when he banned trans people from the military. In his RNC acceptance speech, Trump said that as your president, I will do everything in my power to protect LGBTQ citizens. Yeah, except as we said before, people can fucking lie. I don't really care what people say if their actions speak contrary to what they actually say.
His time as candidate, President Trump became the first Republican nominee to mention LGBTQ rights in his acceptance speech at the Republican National Convention.
Again, that's probably more a consequence of like the prevailing like presence of the LGBT community in the public eye, not necessarily something saying like anything positive about his personal views on LGBT people.
Stated, as your president, I will do everything in my power to
for real, fucking Keck W.
protect LGBTQ citizens. Number 2, President Trump has taken the lead on increasing HIV support at home and abroad.
Again, this doesn't really mean anything. Like, again, like none of this is actually like addressing any of the arguments. It's just like kind of vaguely gesturing at what he like has said before on the matter, but not actually addressing any of his actions.
19, during the State of the Union address, he announced a goal to end the HIV epidemic.
It's easier just to look at what he. Sorry, it's easier just to look at what he said rather than anything that he's actually done.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's 100%. All right, let's see. Trump brought on LGBT people on positions of high power. Trump nominated the first openly gay man to the presidential cabinet in American history, Richard Grenell. Hey, who's Richard Grenell? Can someone pull up some information about this person? I want to address this argument too. He also appointed Mary Rowland, Patrick J. Bumty. Also, just like as a category, like this is literally just like tokenism. This is id poll. It's literally id poll. It's the I have a black friend argument, except it's I have a gay friend.
He can't be homophobic. He's got gay friends.
Yeah, exactly. That's literally what it is. This doesn't fucking matter either. Yeah, he probably, like, honestly, if we were to peer into his mind, like, the vast, overwhelming reason he appointed these people is probably just so that he could say that he can't possibly be homophobic because he has a gay friend that he has close to him. Trump is fighting to... Yeah, 100%. All right, Trump is fighting to decriminalize homosexuality abroad. In September 2019, President Trump gave a speech before the UN calling for a global initiative to decriminalize homosexuality in more than 70 countries. I've heard this before, but I haven't heard any goddamn evidence for it. Like, there's no evidence for this. Also, Richard Grenell, former American diplomat, member of the Republican Party. Yeah, it sounds like another pick-me. Like he's a cis gay man in the Republican Party. It's the same kind of thing. It's just like the person who is easiest to pick, who will be able to like act as like a deflector shield for Trump to be able to avoid personal criticisms of homophobia. And this, if anyone's able to actually present me any evidence, I know he's spoken on this, and I know that people like to bring this up as a talking point, but I've never seen any goddamn evidence for this, like at all. Like he said that he would like to launch this initiative, but like, yeah, he's lied about things before, and as far as I'm aware, there's no actual evidence that he's engaged in any of this, like any kind of decriminalization. And then 5, Trump's Supreme Court nominee delivered their ruling. Oh, and this is the same argument. This is literally the same argument that just because he happened to appoint someone who ruled, mind you, in the way that literally like no conservative expected him to rule, that somehow that like absolves Trump of any criticism for appointing like a conservative Supreme Court justice. That means absolutely fucking nothing. Jake Sherman runs the Insider blog, and he is waiting for the cocktail leaders to say that's okay. Where Coven really stands, Hunter. Okay, I don't know who that is. Yeah, is that it? Is that literally it? Yeah, those are the 5 arguments. Those are the arguments. Oh my, like they don't have a single actually logical, they don't have a single argument. It's either they bring up things that are entirely irrelevant or they just lie. It's one of those two. It's always one of those two.
This is the thing.
Less than 30.
What's brilliant though about this is that they've not done any independent research whatsoever. This all comes from like 1 or 2 articles from the same very biased site.
Oh yeah, so I noticed that too. Yeah, literally like both of these graphics. Outspoken is the other one from Outspoken as well. Yeah, they're both from Outspoken. Yeah. They're both from Outspoken. Literally the entirety of their arguments just came from one biased news outlet. Holy shit. It's more Hunter Biden conspiracy theory shit. Oh, great. Wonderful. 10 out of 10.
A lot of things up for you guys, especially since I know the election is coming.
This is the thing I've noticed, though, genuinely, from these kind of videos from certain people. So basically, they will just find one source that potentially agrees with them, ignore literally everything else, and just double down on that as though it's 100% fact. Like this is Arielle's new thing since moving to the right. Research is typing in why is Trump not homophobic, picking the first article, reading that out on a video. That's it, you're done.
I'm actually really interested in seeing, hey, can someone bring up, like, I don't know, I know that there are certain, like, websites that will, like, rank the bias of certain sites, but like my impression is that like it's a horribly biased website to make like literally all of those arguments are either like demonstrably false or irrelevant. But yeah, no, I completely agree with you.
In less than 30 days.
I've also got this is another just a really interesting little tidbit. That they've got on Outspoken. They've got an article that's called "Trump Voters Show Undeniable Support for LGBT Rights," wherein in all of the polls, the majority of people think it makes no difference if a candidate has anti-LGBTQ rights.
Wait, what?
So, okay, so looking at the polls here, Republicans' views of an anti-LGBTQ rights candidate, 60%, 66, 63, 57, all the way down, makes no difference. The majority of people said it makes no difference, but they've tried to spin it as though Trump voters show undeniable support for LGBT rights.
So they're trying to say makes no difference is like equivocal to I support that person or I support this candidate, essentially.
They spin it. They spin it so that so 6% would feel more favorable, 8 up to maybe like between like 6 and 16% would feel more favorable, and because that's a minority, that means that that people are for pro-LGBT candidates, rather than the fact is that really it makes no difference if you're anti-LGBT to Republicans.
It's just is something that they don't really care about. Yeah, I mean, like, this is kind of my problem with the Republican Party broadly. Or, I mean, like, there's a million problems. Is that, like...
You're one problem.
Yeah, exactly. But, like, when we're talking about, like, focus on LGBT people, the thing is, you either have one of two types of Republicans in the Republican Party. You either have, A, people who are vehemently against LGBT rights, right? And then you have like the Republicans who might try to distance themselves from those people and be like, oh yeah, that don't worry so much about that. Those are a minority. Those are, I mean, like, we're not going to say how much of a minority they are. Those are, they don't matter as much. Just pay attention to me. But the problem is that they don't care enough about these particular issues that they're actually going to actively distance themselves or say that they're not in the same party as those people. Because they'll still welcome those people into the Republican Party. They'll still be completely fine voting for the same candidates as those people. But, like, they just don't care enough about LGBT rights. It's not that they necessarily hate LGBT people, right? It's not that they necessarily want to take away LGBT rights, but they don't care enough to actually, that they're fine with being complicit in advocating for the same kind of things as people who are anti-LGBT or voting for the same candidates as those people would vote for, right? Which to me makes really no major difference between the former and the latter, because I don't really care about personal motivations or what people say the reasons that they are for doing something. If you advocate for Trump, or if you try to say that he's completely fine, or if you try to advocate for the same kind of if you try to advocate for the same party supporting LGBT rights as if you try to say that that's the party that supports LGBT rights when they are overwhelmingly the party responsible for trying to take away those same rights throughout like the entirety of history, I think that you're like, I don't really care what your motivations are. I think that you're just as bad as people who like authentically personally hate LGBT people, and they'll treat you the same,
Well, functionally, yeah, it's functionally the same. It's the issue of tolerance, though, isn't it? You can if you tolerate LGBT people, you won't actively go out to get them, but you're not going to stop anyone from attacking them.
Right.
That's exactly the position they're in.
Yeah. Well, this is like, I don't know, you can end up in sort of like the tolerance paradox, right? And this is why I think that like any truly free society does require an accounting of like positive and negative liberties, right? So like when we're talking about like positive and negative liberties, it's this idea that like in order to ensure the maximalization of positive rights, the ability to be able to do whatever you want, you need to impose some restrictions on people's liberties otherwise to be able to maximize everyone's overall liberties, right? Really good examples are like anti-discrimination laws, right? Which do impose restrictions on people's liberties to be able to discriminate, right? Like those are impositions on people's ability to be able to do things that they may otherwise want to do. But like the argument is that like those are impositions that like we would be fine with in a just society, because like by imposing those liberties, we increase the overall amount of liberties for other people, namely for, in this case, for LGBT people to be free from discrimination, right? And that's kind of the same idea here, right? Like, we do want to be like tolerant of ideas to a certain point. And I mean, like, hey, you know, if they want to voice their opinion, they're more than welcome to. Just be ready for the pushback and the free marketplace of ideas. But like, as far as laws go, yeah, like, it is good to have like anti-discrimination laws or laws protecting like certain like protected classes or protected groups, because like, by doing that, we increase, like, even though we are taking away the ability for people to be able to engage in discriminatory actions towards those people, we are overall increasing the liberties of everyone, namely the liberties of people who are in those groups to be able to live the same kind of lives that everyone else does, you know? So, yeah. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot more that we could talk about, but we're coming up on the hour, so that's a fantastic place, I think, to drop it. Do you have any final thoughts? Do you want to shout yourself out? Tell the audience where we can, where people can find you?
Yeah, so if you enjoyed this, I've actually got a video that you'll probably enjoy as well, debunking another video of Arielle, so you can find out my YouTube at notcorry. I'm at notcorry everywhere. Yeah, that's all.
All right.
Find me.
Well, hey, thank you so much for coming on. I know that we moved through super fast, but I wanted to also keep this, you know, moving. And I felt like we were able to cover a lot of ground together. So thanks for sticking with it. I really appreciate it. I thought this was a good conversation.
Cheers. Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. All right, hey, let's talk again, all right? Talk to you later.
All right, cool. See ya.
Bye.